What's up everybody, Pete DiCarlo from D.F.C Investments, and today I'm going to tell you why you should invest. Investing is important not only for your financial future and the future of your family, but it's important to know why you're investing and what your reasons are. Today, I'm going to go over the 4 reasons that you should invest, starting with number 1, and that is multiple flows of income. The reason you should have multiple flows of income is because a business doesn't just have one flow of income, and you shouldn't either. The problem is that most of us only have one job, maybe 2, but we have much more expenses than we do flows of income. It doesn't really make sense to have 1 or 2 flows of income when you have expenses such as car payments, car insurance, gas, food, operational expenses on your house, not to mention rent or a mortgage. Some types of flows of income could be a job or a career like we spoke about, a second job or career such as bartending or a part-time job at night, stocks and bonds, real estate that you own, an owned company such as me for D.F.C Investments, equity in a company. Say you know a guy who shovels snow or plows snow in the winter and he needs money for a new plow or a truck and you want to throw him some money for some equity in a company. You also could have tax liens and other small loans. For example, at D.F.C Investments we have multiple flows of cash, but one of the things we dabble in is tax liens. The tax lien is when a property owner is not able to pay their property taxes for 3, 4, or 5 years and the government is going to take that property away. What we do is give them the loan for the taxes, then they pay us back within 6 months, and if they don't, we take their house. It's sort of like a title loan, but if you want to get into tax lien properties, definitely go to your local courthouse because these rules and regulations change from state to state and county by county. The second thing that you should think about when beginning to invest is know that you are a business. Me, as Peter DiCarlo, I am a business. And companies need cash flow, which is why you need different forms of cash flow. For example, Apple doesn't just have one type of iPhone. They have the Apple Watch, they have Apple TV, they have multiple Apple iPhones, and they have Apple iPods. You need to have multiple flows of income as well. Another thing that a lot of people don't do is look at their income versus their expenses. And you have to think of it as a business. If a company is taking in $1,000 a month and they're spending $900 a month, that company's not going to be in business that long. So you have to think of yourself as a company and if you can stay in business. So what I like to say is to be your own accountant. Think of your personal expenses as a company, like I've said before, and think analytically about it and not with your emotions. Now the third thing I want to talk about is compounding. This is what Albert Einstein called the 8th wonder of the world. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's not really too spicy and it's not really too flattering and it's not really something that's going to draw you to investing, but it works. In this chart, we're going to look at if you started with $5,000 and if every year you invested $5,000, which is roughly around $416 a month. Now you have to understand that $416 a month might be a little steep for you now, but even if you just invested $100, the compounding effect still works. We're going to judge this off of the average of the S&P 500, which is 8%. So if year 1, you put $5,000 into an account that gets you 8%, you're going to have at the end of the year $5,400. By year 2, $10,832, year 3, $16,699, year 4, $23,34. And as you can see, the compounding effect doesn't really seem to kick in until about year 10. Once year 10 hits, this is where the compounding effect sort of becomes crazy. So from year 10 to 11, you go up around $5,000 for doing nothing. By year 11 to year 15, you go up almost $26,000. By year 15 to year 20, you go up $50,000. By year 20 to 25, you go up around another $60,000 to $70,000. By year 25 to 30, you can see that the compounding effect starts to become crazy. Within this 5 years of year 35 to year 40, you make around $230,000. What is really the most remarkable thing is looking at year 35 to year 40. So within these first 5 years, there's really not that much of a change because you're putting $5,000 a year in. by year 5 you would have $25,000 and you really only made $4,877, which is still good. But by year 35 to year 40, because of how much money you have in there, and the 8% on this amount of money is much greater, you're making about $235,000 in that 5 years. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't have 40 years, and this is why the compounding effect really helps when you're younger and you have time on your side. So now we're going to take Donald. Donald did not invest in these first 10 years, but he decides, which is still good, that he wants to invest. As you can see, while the compounding effect still works amazingly, this is still short of Peter's $736,000. Now, something that you can really make the compounding work with is a Roth IRA. In the future, we're going to be doing videos on why you should have a Roth IRA and how to obtain one. If you want to know more about compounding interest or how to set up an account like this, go to our website down below and set up a consultation with us. The final thing that I want to talk to you guys about is creating and sticking to a financial plan. This is extremely important because this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see rookie investors do, because they either lose money and they divert from the plan, or they make a good profit and they divert from the plan. That if you're up 10% in any investment, that you should probably get out. Don't try to chase more of an income and really risk losing your ass or losing what profits that you've made. We also like to say that if you're 8% down, it's a good time to walk away, realize it was a bad investment, a bad strategy on your part, and just get your bearings together and go back out for another investment. This is part of the strategy that we like to put out because we feel that these are safe numbers that will help protect your capital. A side note too is that we also say not to put anything at the most more than 25% of your capital into one stock. Another thing is to know if you're going to be a long-term or short-term investor, and we're going to make a video on that in the future. But if you decide that you're going to be a long-term investor, I see people who check their stocks 5, 6, 7 times a day if they're a long-term investor, and they get worried that, oh God, Apple is down a little bit because the iPhone X release wasn't as crazy as it is. If you made a financial plan, if you believe that Apple is going to be $1 trillion company, don't worry about today. Worry about the long-term future of the company and stick to your plan. And the biggest one of all is to have an exit strategy. Know when you're going to leave. Now, we kind of talked about the exit strategy as far as the stock market is considered, with exiting at 10% up or 8% down. But one of the biggest problems I see with real estate is that people don't have an exit strategy. A lot of times when you don't know how you're going to get out of a deal, you can end up holding a property for way too long that will just drain you of capital. Know when to get out, know how you're going to get out, and stick to that. I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. If you want more content like this, go to the link below, check out our website, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button so we can continue to make more videos like this. I want to thank you guys for watching, and let's build a fucking empire.